The motor that I have here for you today is a Slot Machine 2. So this is the 21.5. This is the motor that replaced the regular slot machine. Now at Trinity, it's a good brand. It's been around for a while, but they sold some time ago to Horizon. So one of the things that happened is when they were looking for their ROAR certification, they submitted everything to ROAR. And the slot machine was approved, but then they sold to Horizon. Something happened somewhere in between, and I guess something might have been a little redesigned or something changed from design to production based on what was submitted. So they no longer had the certification because it was, I guess, a different motor than what was originally submitted. Now my understanding is that Trinity was replacing some of the old Trinity motors with Trinity Slot Machine 2 under Horizon Hobbies, but I'm not really sure about it. But here I tested KV, I did some resistance, I just started doing resistance, and I also tested the gauss of the rotor. Now the rotor is your standard TEP 1119, I believe, and it's your regular dimensions, so 1243, that's going to be classified as a 12.5, and then length is about 25.32, say 25.5 for the purpose of this. The gauss, that's going to be in the high 1600s, but I'm going to go into the data tables, so here we go. And here's the moment of truth. So Slot Machine 2, Slot Machine 2, same rotor as before as far as the numbering on there, but the gauss, there is quite a bit of difference in gauss. So this is 20 gauss difference between one and bigger difference between the other. So this is 1674 on number 2, 1681 on number 1. So 1681 versus 1701, and then 1674 versus 1735. So we are down to 1681 gauss. It's just a little under 1674. Now, if we go into, here we go. So Slot Machine 2, if we look at KVs, this is how it came out of the box. It was actually set up pretty good. This is one of the few motors where 50 is actually 50 on the end bell. 49, close enough. Some of them are way off. They're off by 3-5 degrees. But the KV, we are looking at 2640 at 4.8 amps. So this is actually really good. I wouldn't mess with it. I would just change the gearing as this one came out of the box. So if you purchase one and it's set at around 50 end bell, I would just leave it alone. But I didn't do that. I went ahead and tried moving it up, and every slight little change makes such a big difference. So 51 degrees, that put us at 2717 kV, 5.5. This is all right for cooler weather. If it's hot, I would not do it. It's just heat. There's a lot of heat. The kV difference, it's almost 60, not quite 60. If we look at RPM, I would just make up the difference with gearing. At this point, 4.8 will run cooler than 5.5, but you could do 5.5. The one I would definitely not do is just notice going from 51 to 52. Yes, we gained 100 kV, which might be tempting, but at 6.7 amps. So hot weather, unless you have a really, really robust cooling system, this motor is going to overheat. That's what's going to happen. So I'd probably leave it at 50 and then work with the gearing, but it's up to you if you end up purchasing the motor and then running it. Resistance, so this is the first time I actually record stuff here and put it on video. But the Slot Machine 2, this was pretty nice. The 21.5, we have about 30.5 for A, and then B's 29.8, and then 30.5. And this, I just went to the terminal A, and then to the front of the motor, where it has that ring. That's where I got those numbers. And then over here, I was just measuring the resistance between A and B. So I went to the terminals A and B, 61.1, 61, 61.2. So pretty consistent. The team powers, pretty close. They're very, very similar. A little better on the team powers, unless I made a mistake recording the numbers, but they're pretty close. So let's go back to KVs. And the reason why is, I want to look at some of the other motors. Here we have a 49. Well, we have two 49s here. If we go with, I guess we can go with either one. It's interesting, Phantom Helix versus Slot Machine 2. Okay, so the Phantom Helix makes about the same RPM as the Slot Machine at slightly lower degrees and much lower amps. So we're looking at 5.1 versus 6.7. So I'm not sure what's happening here. Do I have a 4.8? I do not have a 4.8. Well, I'm looking at the amps trying to see, I guess 5.1 maybe. This is 49 degrees. Not really. It's over 200 kV. Well, yeah, it's over 200 kV difference between the Trinity Slot Machine 2 and the Phantom Helix. I'm wondering about the team powers. Let's look at the team powers. And I think that V5 is down. No, it's going to be up here. Team powers. Here we go. V5. Team powers. And if we look at 49, so 49 we're looking at 2,757. So 2757, 5.5 amps. So this is what we want to compare. So 49, 2757, 5.5. Okay, yeah, team powers, well, 5.5. 5.5 would put us here. So if we look at 49, team powers does seem to have much higher kV, but it's drawing 5.5. If we were to compare the amp draw, Slot Machine would be at 51 degrees, and we're looking at 2717. So not much difference. They're pretty close as far as amp draw, if we compare amp draw per kV versus timing per kV. It just depends what's more important to you. So I would say those are pretty close. So I think the Trinity Slot Machine 2 and the team powers are probably the more similar motors. Those are probably the ones I would compare. But something I would keep in mind as well is the gauss between the two, now that I'm comparing the two, just for kicks and giggles. Let's go ahead and look at the team powers. Much higher gauss on the team powers. So if I had to take a wild bet, I would say this one probably has more torque based on this. And the resistance. So the resistance is pretty close, but you have a much stronger rotor, and you're producing more kVs at a lower degrees. It's about the same amp draw. So that makes sense. Right? You have a stronger rotor, more amp draw at lower degrees of timing. Well, that is it for today. I was on a main and I couldn't find a motive motor, and it's very interesting. I'm not sure where to get a current one, because when I researched motive motor, I found motive and then gravity RC together. So all I found were the US GT motors, but I've already done the US GT motors, so I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do one on motive motors. My next one might be another just stock, I'm not sure, or I might go into Hobbywing, because the G4, I believe it's the G4R, that motor might be impressive. So at this point, I'm not sure. I have to get around to ordering a motor. Maybe I'll wait for some discount codes. That's probably what I'm going to do. And then hopefully I can have one soon. That being said, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Oh, my hair! My car! My rod!